What we are going to discuss today, this is another important topic which we are going to cover. Basically, it is going to cover two subjects simultaneously. One is related to the operation research. This is the one subject. Another one is it is also going to discuss the concept of project management. Project management. So, what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss the network models. Network models. Prior to that one, we are going to discuss what is project. So, this term project, if we are going to discuss this term project, for different perspectives, this project is going to view the different aspects. And at the end of the day, we will get the same results from the project. And if you look at the different authors, moreover, the different authors have given the different definitions for the project. And what is the one of the unique definition which is given by one of the authors which we are going to discuss is, let me deliberate on this one. A project is defined as a combination of activities. It is defined as a combination of interrelated activities. Interrelated activities. A project is defined as a combination of interrelated activities which must be executed, in a certain order, which must be executed in a certain order, This certain order which we will define later on. Because this certain order basically represents the network model actually. In a certain order, before the entire task is completed. Before the entire task is completed. Let me again define this one, this project. Project is a combination of interrelated activities which must be executed in a certain order before the entire task is completed. This is one of the definition which is given by one of the author. Now, what are the salient characteristics? We are going to discuss the salient characteristics also of a project. What are the different salient characteristics? Let me deliberate on this one. We'll discuss one by one. The number one is a project has identifiable beginning and end point. It has identifiable beginning and end points. What is actually project? Normally in our curriculum we do the project. Sometimes we do the project in two parts. One is known as the minor project, another one is known as the major projects. Similar to that one, we do certain activities in that one also. So that is known as the projects. So what are the different salient characteristics? If we consider all these activities or all these characteristics during the project, so definitely we'll have a wonderful project at the end of the day. It should be a identifiable beginning and the point. Basically, it is an entity by itself. It is an entity by itself. Entity by itself. This is the one first characteristic or one of the characteristics. We go with another characteristic. We will discuss some other. It is not a permanent entity. It is not a permanent entity. Means it will not remain same. It will keep on changing with respect to the time or with the passage of the time. It is not basically this is not repetitive in nature. Permanent entity means this is not repetitive in nature. This is another characteristic. We'll discuss another characteristic. The third characteristic, it can be broken or we must divide the project into different different identifiable activities. Different identifiable activities. Basically, this is known as work breakdown structures. This is known as work breakdown structure. Why we should do it? This is the important part because we have a bigger projects to if we don't divide it into the small activity or small entity, we can't able to tackle all the activities. This is another character sketch of the we must divide into the identifiable activities which requires time and resources for the completion of them. So basically this is another concept of the work breakdown structure. Another character sketch is the it basically we have to talk. It is this project has to be scheduled to be completed by a certain target date. Who decides the certain target date? By a certain target date. Every project, every project has a completion date basically. Accordingly, we have to schedule our activities. We have to schedule our activity. Basically, we have to divide the activity into different components or different parts, and accordingly, we have to take what are the resources which is involved in that one. This is another character sketch. Another character sketch. This is the fifth character sketch. Your objective should be clear, crystal clear. Your objectives of the project should be the crystal clear. Should be the objectives of the project should be the crystal clear. Should be crystal clear. What will happen? What is the advantage of this one? The advantage is we can meticulously plan all the activities. We can meticulously plan all the activities of the project. Another character sketch. Usually a project maybe of the 6 months, maybe of the 2 years, maybe of 1 year, or maybe of the 10 year also. The bigger the project, the more the basically there is a risk involved. Means that sometimes the things get changed with the passage of time. The material costing or the government policies have changed. Accordingly, this is another characteristic. Normally, the projects are of a big duration or of a large durations. This is the basically this is the large duration projects. Starting with the 1 year, two may last up to the 10 years. If I talk about the one project, I may take a one example later. There is a one project, Panipat Jalandhar NH44 now highway. The project was started way back in 2005 onwards, and it was supposed to be completed by 11th of November 2011. But the project could not get completed till 2020. There are two governments which are involved. There are two state governments which are involved. This is a central government project. Here there are two government involved. One is Haryana, another is Punjab. And both the governments have to clear the passes, whatever the hurdles which are there, especially the electricity pole, and maybe the bigger wire, high tension wire which is crossing the passage, that has to, or maybe the forest area, that has to be clear, or the raw material which has to be provided by the, even though the central government is ready to bear, the project don't get completed by this date, means in 11th November 2011. Even the project could not complete by 2020. Means it cost more. So these are the things which we have to take care of. So accordingly, each project has basically three requirements. What are the three requirements for for each project? The project should be completed without delay. The project, these are the three requirements. Without delay, this is the first requirement. What is the second requirement? The second requirement is we should use available manpower and the resources. we should use the available manpower and resources. If we don't have these, definitely the project will get delayed. The third basic requirement is we should spend or we should invest as small as possible. We should invest as small as possible. So these are the three requirements. Leading to this one, there is one concept which we have to take care of, that is known as the project management. There is another concept. Basically, out of this one, we came with the one project that is known as the project management. Let me deliberate on that one, project management. What is there in a project management? In project management, the subject is the project management. And this is project management. There are three things which are important. In project management, there are three things which are important. One is known as the project planning. Project, the first thing is the project planning. The second thing is the project scheduling. The second thing is known as the project tuning. And the third thing is known as the project controlling. There are three things which are important, or there are three characteristics, or rather we divide the project management into the three parts. One is the project planning, project scheduling, and project controlling. And here, if you look at these two things, planning and scheduling, it gets before the start of the project. Before the start of the project. These are the two activities which has to be completed before the start of the project. And this project controlling, it will be come into picture when we are actually implementing the project. So these are the three parts or the three functions of the project management. One is the project planning, another one is project scheduling, another one is the project controlling. So we'll discuss in detail. So what is there in a planning? We have to plan the things prior to the start of the project. Depending on the what are the different things which we have to consider in a planning part. I consider in a planning, number one, will give the due respect to the manpower. Will give the due respect to the manpower resources. This is the first part. The second part and third part, fourth and fifth, there are five characteristics we will consider. Another one is the machinery resources. Machinery resources. In a planning part, will give the due respect to the manpower, machinery resources, financial resources. Depending on the financial, will consider the project. Financial resources. Another one is the material resources. Another one is known as the material resources, and another one is known as the time and the space resources. Time and space resources. So part you may consider also another one also you may consider the 5M, 6M, 7M depending upon the requirement. Accordingly, we will schedule the activities. We'll schedule all the activities. What should be the finish time? What should be the start time? We'll give the due respect to start and the finish time for each activity of the project. And accordingly, whether the things are being done at an appropriate time, this will be considered in the project scheduling, project controlling. So basically, there are three functions: project planning, project scheduling, and project controlling. Depending on that, this is the function of this project management. So far what we have discussed today in the class, we started with the project, then we discussed with the project management, and in project management we'll deliberate on the project planning, project scheduling, and project controlling. That's it from my side. If you have any question, you may ask me. Otherwise, this is the basic introduction of this subject. Thank you very much.